Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the books I read in July. I cannot believe August is already here. Like, that's actually kind of insane. Time flies so quickly, but I'm low-key excited to get into fall, get into our summer ween. Even though I really did enjoy this summer and the books I've read. Let's get into the books we read this summer, starting with Real by Kennedy Ryan. I rated this book a 4.75. It was so good. Talked so much about invisible, debilitating autoimmune diseases, grief, familial relationships, and so much more. This book is definitely just like one of those must reads, one of those books that will change your life when you read it, give you a new perspective on things. Kennedy Ryan just writes about people so well. I just honestly have no words. If you guys want to see the video where I go through the motions reading this book and all of the feels, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you guys can see my reading vlog. It should be coming out in a week or so from this video. I'm reading a couple other books, but this book I was able to finish and just 10 out of 10. It is about our two main characters, Canon and Neva, and it switches point of views. I love a switching point of view. Neva is an aspiring singer, actress, dancer. She is currently on Broadway doing a show. Canon is a filmmaker and he's making a new film about a forgotten star. He is looking for the star of this new movie and happens to run into Neva to see the creation production of his film and kind of how the film coincides with the story, kind of blends together in a really unique way. If you're really into film, movies, cinematography with a romance plot, then I think you will really enjoy this book. Next, I read Before I Let Go, also by Kennedy Ryan. This is the first book in the Skyland series, and I rated this book a 4.75. I am truly falling in love with Kennedy Ryan's writing. It's incredible. Her romance is so good, and the spice is also so freaking good. This book follows our two main characters, Jazmynn and Josiah. Also goes by Sai, she goes by Yaz. It takes place in Atlanta. Jazmynn and Josiah own a restaurant together, but they are recently divorced. Throughout the story, we uncover why, but they still have feelings for each other, are still very much in love with each other. Love that we get to see how she feels and thinks about him and how he feels and thinks about her, and how they both think and feel that the other doesn't have the same feelings towards each other. This book talks about depression, pregnancy, and like women's struggles very well. They are also navigating co-parenting and dealing with their two kids, and I also love that we get the dynamic and the perspective of the two kids and how they treat their mom versus how they treat their dad, which I think this is also something that probably can be relatable to people who have dealt with a divorce in their family, and how sometimes I think kids tend to take sides because they don't understand what's like fully going on. They both try dating, and let's just say it doesn't fully work out, but you will have to read to figure out the rest. Okay, next up, I read Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I definitely jumped on the bandwagon of reading this book because I wanted to see the Amazon show, and I loved the show, so I was like, I definitely have to read this. I also love that the book includes a Black character. This book follows our two main characters, Persephone Fraser and Sam Florek. Also, like, what a name, Persephone. And then they call her Purse. Like, it's just so cute. So basically the story follows Persephone and Sam, how they met in their lake in Canada when they were super young. Something happens and they split up, they stop talking. We don't know why. And so we kind of figure out near the end of the book, and it also switches perspectives to present day and why Persephone has to come back to the lake and see Sam again because she's basically been avoiding him and ignoring him for as long as she possibly can. Sam also has a very fine older brother. They're both honestly super fine. Let's just say it's kind of not a love triangle, but there's a messy triangle going on. I really loved how Carly Fortune wrote about the lake, and it's just a really good, I think, summer read. It talks a lot about grief. It talks a lot about anxiety, panic attacks. It's just so good. And I think Carly Fortune does the tension so well, the tension between Persephone and Sam, and even Persephone and the older brother. You just like kind of don't know what's gonna happen, what did happen, but the way the whole story plays out is so good. And I think if you're looking for kind of like a messy summer read, if you're looking for a nostalgic lake feeling, if you're going to a lake, this is definitely the book to pick up. And if I didn't already say, I rated that book 4.75 stars. Next, I read Pink Sand Summer by Chastity Evans. This is a book I found on Kindle, and I really liked the cover, and I was just looking for like a summery read. This book is about Lucy, who is returning to her grandmother's home on Harbor Island. This book honestly gives the same vibes as Every Summer After. We're on like a lake, we're coming back to see someone we were entangled with previously. Jack is her ex-boyfriend, and for some reason things could never work out between them. But this time, who knows? She also ends up meeting another guy who's a little bit more broody, a little bit more straightforward, and she gets kind of caught between the crossfires of him and Jack. And she honestly keeps thinking about why her and Jack didn't work and how could it be any different this time if it hasn't been different any other time. And you'll just have to read to figure out how that works out. But again, it's another kind of like messy romance read, and I think if you like Every Summer After, you probably will like this book as well. Wow, I rated this book 5 stars, so I love this book. I honestly forgot. My review is that I wanted to cry several times reading this. I love the why choose elements, but also the lessons in the romance. It was all just so moving and beautiful. This is one of the best romances I've read in a long time. So if you can't tell, I really did like this. It's on Kindle Unlimited. Honestly, I've not heard of this author before. It only has 193 reviews on Fable. I don't know about Goodreads, but it's fairly new. Oh, it's her first book, so I think she did a really, really, really good job. The average rating for it is 3.5 stars, but I don't know. I personally loved it. I think I'm running out of space on my SD card, so give me one sec. And we're back. I read this in June of last year, but I just want to bring it up. The Summer Pact by Emily Griffin. I rated that book. Okay, I don't remember what I rated it, but it is really good. Trigger warning though. It talks about or mentions suicide. It's a really good book about like friendship. I talked about these in my last video, but I'm just going to briefly mention them. 10,000 Hours with a Rich Menace and Guild, the Plated Prisoner. I rated both of those 3.75. Those were good books. Guild, I really think, has a lot of potential, and there are a couple books in the series. I rated it super low just because the main character is a pick-me, but it's a King Midas retelling. Apparently it does pick up later on, and she doesn't become so pick-me, and she kind of finds her ground. She is the thing that King Midas turns to all gold, and he keeps her as prisoner. She falls in love with him and feels indebted to him because he saved her. You know, she came from nothing, and I think she has a weird complex around him, but as the books go on, I believe that starts to unravel, and a new love interest comes into the mix. 10,000 Hours with the Rich Menace, 3.75, that is by Jaquel J. This is like a messy mob story, but it has some good representation about OCD. I did find some plot holes in the book and just some things that I didn't think was realistic. The male main character is super funny. It's very like witty and humorous, and I did have a good time reading this even though there were some heavier, stronger topics, but I still think it was a good book. I don't know if I'm going to read the second in the series, but I did like the first one. Okay, that is all I read for the month of July. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment what you're reading and comment what you guys think I should be reading for August. I am definitely going to do like a TBR. I never know what to read next, and I feel like I spend so much time looking for a new book, but I just want to make a TBR so I at least have a guide. So if you guys have any books that you think would be good for summerween, or a good summer book, or something you think I would like based on the books I've just mentioned, please leave a comment and let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.